The world of My Little Pony has inspired fans everywhere to create fascinating headcanons for the different characters who don't have canonized backstories or other things explained about them. As the series goes on, more things about our favorite characters will become canon. But just like calling Snowflake bolt biceps and making Darren Do the author of the Darren Do book series, there's gonna be some interesting reactions from the fans once stuff becomes official. But also like Derppy's love of muffins and Lyra and BonBon playing piano together in Rainbow Rocks, the My Little Pony series could take what the fans created and make it official. But of all of the things that My Little Pony has going for it, what is most or least likely to become canonized? Let's start with some of the popular ones and work our way down to obscurity. Lyra and BonBon being best friends or roommates. Very plausible. Would they be more than that? Probably not. Derppy and the Doctor being in some sort of relationship. Highly plausible. Being married with Dinty and Amethyst as their children. Less likely, but I could still see that happen. Vinyl and Octavia as roommates. I'd love to see that happen. That could be highly plausible. The base canon for Vinyl Scratch, that is canon to Rainbow Rocks, but could it happen in the My Little Pony Equestria canon? Possibly. Could she also have the Sonic Whooves dishwasher? Slightly less plausible. I mean, that would definitely be taken from the fandom if they went and did that. And dishwashers is not a technology that we've seen canon to Equestria. So, I don't even think we know how ponies wash dishes. Technology is a crazy thing in Equestria. Some ponies have it, some don't. Lyra's hands obsession and her obsession with humans in general, not very likely to happen in Equestria canon. Equestria doesn't know officially about humans and hands and that sort of thing. Although maybe she could be into giving hoofacures or pedicures to clawed characters or something. I don't know. The closest thing you could get to Lyra's human obsession would be to have her fascinated by what's on the other side of the mirror and bringing that up in a question or something like that. The mirror is the only way that we could officially canonize the hands obsession. Otherwise, you really have to change it and work around it. Dr. Whooves and time travel, probably not going to happen. It'd be fun to see how many times we can work in Doctor Who references to the character, but I don't think we're going to see the TARDIS itself or anything resembling the TARDIS on the show anytime soon, although I hope I'm wrong. Derppy and her love for muffins, that's practically canon throughout Equestria Girls and Rainbow Rocks, and no reason not to do it on the Equestria side of canonization. Button Mash. Having him come onto the show again would be lots of fun. Having his voice sound like it does in the cartoons by Jan Animations, that's highly implausible, but that would be lots of fun. Having him drink an apple juice box, that could be highly possible. Giving him a mom, a dad, and a brother, that could be possible. Having him wear a mustache, that would be tons of fun. Having him play a portable, hoof-held video game, slightly less possible. Again, because of technology and how weird it is in Equestria. Having him date Sweetie Belle, very fun, possible but not very likely, since the CMC haven't even talked about dating, let alone having friendships outside of the three of them. So I don't know what chance Button Mash would have of associating with those others, especially since Pipstreak has had more free time with the CMC than Button Mash has. Flufflepuff, probably not going to happen in My Little Pony canon or any canon whatsoever, but would be fun to make references to her, perhaps in the form of a doll, a poster, a tote, some kind of costume or article of clothing, or maybe just an audio reference or a story or some little throwaway line. Definitely can't use Flufflepuff's obsession with Chrysalis and her and Chrysalis living in the library with Dan. There is zero chance of that scenario happening. They're definitely not going to bring back a villain and turn her into a love interest. But we could have the taco obsession if we do have such a character in the series. If Flufflepuff was used, then the closest way we could get to that would be to have a pink pony character in the traditional pony shape and have her enjoying tacos. Trixie loves pine cones. I don't know what that's about, but it's in Turnabout Storm. Also, Trixie as a prosecutor. Either of those would be fun to give Trixie, but I don't see it happening, although I do want to see her return. But that's why I put up my Trixie fanfics earlier, because I wanted to get that done before her potential comebacking, because I don't want my headcanon ruined by her returning. Finch Scootaloo, there's a possibility that could work out, or a possibility it couldn't. We did see that she has a home, but we haven't seen her family yet, so we don't know exactly where she's coming from. Likelihood of this happening? Probably not. The main 6 families, the other family members for the rest of the main 6, I would love to see something more of that happen, so that we can have canon information on their parents and siblings and other relatives. Snowdrop, probably not going to happen, although you could make other ponies in that color scheme and put some references to them. Having a suspiciously blind pony could be interesting to have on the series also, but you would have to avoid perfectly imitating Snowdrop. Celestia and her love of bananas. That would be an interesting one to see brought into the series, and it would be easy to do. At least have a pony offer her bananas and have her react, or just have her casually eating one. Once you do that, the fandom will probably explode. Derppy as a mail carrier. This could be a possible one to do, and I'd love to see them put her in the uniform and give her the job. It would be very easy to canonize, and I see no reason not to do it. Cupcakes, the Rainbow Factory, and all of our other creepy pasta stories probably won't happen. You could make references to it. I think they already have referenced some of those things, but it's not really going to happen. Diamond Tiara's backstory, I'd love to dive into that and learn more about her. A lot of fans have speculated she probably has some kind of sad backstory, and when we hear it, we'll feel sympathetic towards her. I'd love to see that happen. Another fan canon about Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon is that their cutie marks are fake. It would be interesting to see that happen, but I really don't think it will happen. Those are probably legitimate cutie marks. Canonizing Silvertwill as an official Griffin character, probably not going to happen. Silver Spoon and Diamond Tiara, despite having their cutie marks, don't know what their talents are. That could be an interesting story to run with. I could see it possibly happening. I certainly haven't seen any signs of them revealing what their talents are. The Everfree Forest used to be a nice place before it turned evil, and now it's slowly turning good again. I'd love to see that happen on the show. Star Swirl the Bearded is or is not Discord. Yes, one of those two things is clearly true and the other clearly not. I personally don't think he's Star Swirled. I think that's just the fans reading too much into his backstory. Star Swirled the Bearded having children, and those children being characters we've either already known or will get to know real soon. That could be a fascinating piece of story to tell us. Fancy Pants' female companion being secretly a flank-kicking bodyguard. That would be an awesome story, but I don't think it's very plausible for the direction the series is going in. Although it would be fun to see them do that. Dan versus crossover, not gonna happen. Lilith's Pet Shop crossover, also probably not going to happen. More Alatorns than just the princesses. This is highly plausible, as Alatorn toys do exist in the toy line, and Hasbro could push for them to be sold on the series. More members of Discord's race. That could be a lot of fun to go into. It'd be very much like Oberon's children from the Gargoyles series, only more variations of Discord. That could be lots of fun. Spite's parent is the next thing to consider when looking at headcanons, and to hope it becomes canon on the show, because there's a big mystery over Spite's parents, dragons in general, that needs more expanding upon from what we saw in Dragon Quest. Luna and Celestia's childhood. This is something that has not been canon in the series. The furthest back we've gone with them is the banishment of Discord, and other than that, and seeing Luna's banishment, we don't know a whole lot about these two. The fans have come up with the idea that when they were younger, Celestia had pink hair and Luna had light blue hair. But to have all that headcanon stuff become canon in one of the upcoming episodes or upcoming seasons would be really great. And canonizing anything from the comic books, that would be awesome. To finally say that the comic books and the series are both sharing the same canon. Colgate as the dentist. This is a big one in the fandom. While you probably can't officially canonize her name as Colgate, it would be very easy and very pleasing to the fans to officially make her a dentist. Berry Punch being a grunt. This is a fan canon that will probably never make it into show canon. I'm not sure they can even get away with implying it. And then the rest of the headcanons are all relationship based. The different things that people ship ponies with. This one with that one with this one, so on and so forth. Let me know what you would like to see canonized and what you hope doesn't get canonized in the comments section below. Thank you for watching, and good night.